Hi, we are with Arnaud he's the Secretary General of PU Europe, and he is also the Vice Chair at the Modern Building Alliance. Arnaud, could you please enlighten us about what PU Europe does and about your role at PU Europe as the Secretary General?
PU Europe is a European Federation of national stakeholders, national association representing polyurethane thermal insulation manufacturers. So our industry represents about 10% of the market share. So thermal insulation products placed on the European market. So that's about 10%. And we have something like 110 factories and more than 20,000 direct employees. This is, well, you will find quite some numerous European trade association like PU Europe in Brussels, so based in the European district. And what we do as PU Europe is we promote the interest of our members, as I said, manufacturers of polyurethane thermal insulation products, but also key raw material suppliers to the industry. And we promote interest towards European decision makers. Also in standardization arena, so CEN, CENELEC, and myself, I'm running this organization for, I guess, almost 5 years now, and basically that's as you can imagine, it's making sure that my members get the information which is necessary on what's going on in the European Union. So speaking about the legislative developments, also standardization developments, and internally to form position with my members and to be able with those positions to reach out to European Commission, European Parliament, and other key stakeholders in Brussels.
Great, great. What I noticed that PU Europe has a sustainable construction unit. What does PU Europe do within this unit?
Well, I guess that in terms of terminology, it's probably not construction unit, but we do have, of course, sustainable construction is a key theme for many years within our industry when it comes to making sure that we use the best materials and that we place on the market the more sustainable products, articles. So what we do is, well, basically we make sure that we are in advance of legislations. We have products which have outstanding performances when it comes to, for instance, just to pick an example, emissions to indoor air. And of course, our products being thermal insulation products, we make sure that our products have long-lasting performances and that the energy savings are there for the homeowners or real estate developers and commercial public building owners. So sustainability in our case, it has a lot to do with the use phase of the product, and when the product is used in many different buildings and also in technical insulation, we make positive effect to society, so, and notably on climate change.
Great. Okay, so could you elaborate on PU insulation? Explain what it is.
PU insulation is a highly engineered thermal insulation product. It's one of the best on the market when we look at thermal performance. So basically, you can insulate buildings with a layer of polyurethane, which will be thinner compared to other competitive products on the market. And of course, when you look at the drive for more energy efficient buildings, there is an issue. I mean, there is a critical question about the thickness of the walls, of the roofs, of the floors. and therefore polyurethane has a really strong asset there. So that's also, as I said, highly engineered product, so factory made and or in situ, and we have very nice mechanical performance. So that's why you will see a lot of polyurethane in flat roofs, because you can walk over it, and that's very good. Also, polyurethane is resistant to water, water leakage, to chemical attacks, and so on. And basically, that's why when you start to dismantle an old building where polyurethane was fitted, usually polyurethane comes out in I would say in an okay form, even after decades of use, and this is not not always the case with all products on the market.
Okay, great. In regards to environmental, economics, and social factors, how can PU insulation play a vital role in achieving the sustainable building?
We have with polyurethane is a material which is lightweight, so a product which is lightweight. And of course, as we know, light does have an impact on resources. So the lighter, the better. And there is great asset of, this is a great asset of polyurethane that it's really lightweight. And we are speaking about, 40 kilogram per cubic meter roughly. And therefore we minimize use of natural resources. And then, of course, there are more and more developments related to moving from fossil fuel resources to nature-based resources, also in the polyurethane industry. And this is really something which is very important. So that's really, of course, again, during the use phase, this is a product which doesn't need to be maintained. So it's there in the building for the lifetime of the building or the technical system. And therefore, this is again a great asset because there is no wearing, there is no loss of material. There is, you don't need to do anything with polyurethane.
Right. That is very good. So what would your recommendations be for EU member states in regards to sustainable construction? Like, how would you recommend EU member states, construction companies, and other construction material companies to be more sustainable?
We and it's not just my sector, but what we have today is unfortunately a situation with demolition waste. So there is not enough sorting. So there is sorting for heavier fraction, for fractions of waste that you can make money out of it. So metals or some other waste fractions. But for the lighter waste fraction, there is basically no or little appetite to recover them. And this is something which, of course, require the supply chain to work on it. So basically, the demolition companies, sorting and waste processors, as well as our industry and other industries, in fact, the whole construction sector, to team up, to have better understanding of what is needed to make the economics work. So the economics of not throwing away and not having to go to landfill or waste incineration, but rather to make sure that we can put those molecules back into the loop. So this is really one critical element which will require efforts from, as I said, various stakeholders in the construction sector, and also to have more information from contractors, architects, on what are the best systems, the best designs that would make sure that we can recover the polyurethane insulation boards, sandwich panels, or in situ spray foam when end of life is reached. So this is, as I said, there is really a need to have more elaborated exchanges on that. Maybe
Right.
second point is on the for the decision makers on let's say to make sure that there are policies, legislations which are material neutral. So there might be some tendency to favor one over another.
Right.
But at the end of the day, sustainability is not just for, highly engineered products versus natural-based product. It's for sustainability has to be there for each and every material. And that's why it is very important for the decision makers to ensure that. And
Great.
I believe that's, yes, a key
Yeah,
recommendation for that.
great point. Last question. Are there any new technological developments in this area that people need to look out for?
What we see there is, from my industry, there is a need to have a lot of renewable or low carbon energy,
Right.
which is available at a cost competitive price. So the circular economy, and to close the loop, that will mean that we will need we will demand more energy. So we'll demand more energy to green the raw material feed, to also be able to capture the molecule when they have at the end of their useful lifetime, and to bring them back into the loop. And in order to do that, of course, we will do recycling, and that's reusing and recycling. So reusing boards, for instance, if they are still in a good shape. And if not, then we do recycling. And recycling, we see that there is, for instance, also chemical recycling. And there are various chemical recycling pathways. But of course, that will demand energy. That will demand zero carbon energy
Right.
in order to support the European Green Deal.
Right. Well, thank you so much. This was very educational. We look forward to having you on the Sustainable Construction Roundtable in September.